whisper stories told. Let your journey now begin. In the magic, let's dive in. So tell me, what do the cards reveal? What's the truth they conceal? She's the high priestess with the key to every question that's haunting me. A lover's heart or a warning from the past. In the terror's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place. In the tarot's embrace, I'm spellbound at last. Truth's come undone, it's a dance we must face. In the chaos, I find my place. The moonlight glows, the veil is thin. Moon of infinity will call again. Thanks for walking in the light, where guides whisper pure insight. Until we meet, the cards will wait. Mystic whispers guide your fate. With every message our spirits send, for cosmic dreams our souls transcend.
Hey everyone, welcome in. Hope y'all are having a wonderful night. We're gonna start this off with some free reads. Joanna, if you're here, please check in with me. You posted a few minutes before I went live, and my rule is that you have to be present for your free questions. So if you're here, just check in with me. Joanna F., please check in. Hey girl. All right, let's take a look. Is Lucy reaching out to you next week? Let's take a look here. I am getting a yes for you, Joanna. We have the Lovers. Margaret. Margaret, I have a yes. Ace of Pentacles. Nessa. I have a yes. The Emperor for Nessa. Matt. Yes, the Judgment card, but I feel like he's getting over a recent relationship, okay? He's in like the healing stages. Chibi. I have a yes, Temperance. He does this occasionally. Sophie. Sophie, I have a yes, King of Cups. Brittany. Brittany, I have a yes for you, Three of Wands. Emily R. All right, so you got a couple of cards that have popped out, Emily. I'm going to go with no. I feel like things remain pretty much unchanged and isolated. This is a very isolated, independent energy. The Tower does talk about change, but the Emperor is like, I don't know. I'm going to say no. If you're looking forward to love messages, I do hope I'm wrong. But you have a lot of like cards that came out for that reading. It doesn't feel very like straightforward, unfortunately. Bake. Bake, I have a no, Three of Swords. Amy, I have a yes, Two of Cups. Dell. Let's take a look here. I have a yes, Nine of Pentacles. Hard work paying off. We vibes. We vibes. I'm getting a yes for you. The World and Eight of Pentacles. Roses. Whoop. Roses, I'm getting a no for you. Five of Cups. If you want that to change, Roses, you may have to reach out to them yourself. You're welcome, Joanna. Have a good night. Daisha, will everything work out in my favor and blessings come in for me? I'm sorry to hear you've been going through a lot. Let's take a look here. You definitely have some changes up ahead. Getting a yes, the Tower and the Nine of Cups. You're welcome, everyone. For those of who are thanking me, you're very welcome. Hi, Em. Welcome in. I am getting some donations that are coming through, so just bear with me. When I'm done with the free list, I'll update the donation list. You're welcome, Bake. You're welcome, Amy and We Vibes. Nat donated for a mini. It looks like I got it, Nat. You're welcome, everyone. All right, let's keep going with the free list. This is for Melissa. Thank you guys for liking the live stream. I really appreciate that. Are y'all excited about the weekend? I hear if you're in the southeastern-ish area, you guys are going to be hit with a storm. So if you're in that area, I hope you make it through okay. Melissa, I have a yes for you. Temperance. Shar. Shar, we have the Page of Cups, as well as the Nine of Swords. I don't think that they're single right now in the traditional sense. Like, I think they're involved with someone romantically, but I think with the Page of Cups saying believe in the impossible is that it probably won't be that way for a long time. Things will change. That's like temporary. M wins. I have a yes, girl. Queen of Wands. Sienna. I have a yes for Sienna. Ace of Cups, love. Hazel. Hazel, I have a yes. I feel like this person wants to help you. Knight of Cups. Smiley. Yeah, it's new-ish. I can't guarantee I'll be on camera every time, but so far we've been having some camera live streams. It just depends on where I can work that day. Will depend on if I'm on camera or not, but I am trying to incorporate more camera time. It does make my job easier to do it this way because then I don't always have to tell you guys the cards because you can just kind of see for yourself. But I am in the habit of still doing that. If anybody wants to drop their free yes no questions, make sure y'all are liking the live stream and posting your yes no in the chat. I just need you to post it one time. The list will stay open for free questions for about a minute or so, maybe almost 2 minutes. But then we are going to move on to donations. So just make sure that you guys are getting your questions in as soon as you can, or you might risk losing the free list opportunity. If you do and you still want your question read, it's $5 for a yes no. Oh my God, I speak. Hey girl, how are you? I feel like I've been thinking about you. I haven't seen you in like a week or so. I'm doing good. How are you? All right, guys, I just posted the donation list in order that I received them. None of these were pre-orders, so if anybody wants to move ahead on the list, you can donate $5 to skip or $5 to hold your place so that no one skips ahead of you. All right, guys. Got the zoomies. This is for Smiley. I need to go make myself a drink, like water or something. Okay, this is for Smiley. Does somebody miss Smiley? Does somebody miss Smiley? Somebody miss Smiley? I am getting a yes. You might be asking if it's a romantic person. I'm not quite sure. It does feel feminine in energy, but if your intention with your question was, is someone like that has romantic interest in me missing me, it's still a yes, depending on what your intention was. The Queen of Pentacles talks about how this person may have perceived you to be like their life partner or thought at one point that they would marry you. So there's a couple different interpretations there. Oh, Smiley, thank you for the donation. I will add you to the list in just a second. I Speak says, oh my God, so you're not the only one who told me my next person would be my actual person. Another reader told you this. My God, that's so cool. You've been breathing, taking it day by day. I'm glad you're good. Thanks, girl. Yeah, I feel it really strongly for you, I Speak. I don't know what it is. I think it's honestly just the journey and the healing and all the stuff that you've been doing. I think you just have a very clear path as far as like what it is you're looking for and what you deserve. And I think that as you work through those things, this person comes to you. And it's like a strong pull. I also feel that way about another girl. She comes on here sometimes, Crow's Nest. There's also someone significant around her as well. I think y'all are the only two right now that I'm feeling that way for. But that's very cool, though. I am happy to hear that another reader was able to give you that double confirmation. You're welcome, Sophie. Kayla, yes, absolutely. You can donate. 100% donations are open. Um, all right, let me update the donation list really quickly. So free list is closed if you guys didn't see it. Kayla, I'm going to add you to the list just to make my job easier. Even though I haven't gotten the confirmation of the donation yet, I'm just going to put you on the list. Like I said, nobody was a pre-order, so if anybody wants to pay to skip, they can. It's $5 to do so. If you're worried about getting skipped, you can donate $5 to keep your place. But as of right now, this is the order of the donations that I have for the evening. And as they continue to roll through, I will update the list. So starting this off with M. I know that a lot of times you like to send me your question via email. So if you did that, let me know. And I'm going to go grab a water real quick. You got 2 months from now as a time frame. You're like, girl, I'm not ready. Well, I remember telling you that I pick up someone for you, and I feel like I think I might have even said it during one of your readings where I was like, I think you're going to tell me you're not ready for this, but it's still happening. Oh, you sent it on Cash App? Okay. Sounds good. Give me 1 second. I'm going to grab a water, okay? Okay, so this is 4M. And remember, if you guys can't stick around, you can leave your question with me in the chat. I guess he'll find you, won't he? My husband's beard hair. Did y'all see that? I find his hair everywhere. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, so this is cool. The first card coming through is the Magician, which is very, very awesome because that is the card of manifestation. So one of the things you're going to be feeling like pretty powerful about yourself. Like you're going to feel like you're going to think of something that you want and it's going to happen very quickly. And I think you're going to think that it's a fluke. But then I think that the more evidence you get on this fact, then you start feeling like, okay, I'm actually seeing these things happen. Like when you think back, like first of all, like kind of imagine everything that you want to happen, and then imagine that like in 5 years your future self is telling the current self now, look at what you did, look at everything you've done. Like for example, I always think back about all of my achievements, my accomplishments, everything that I have done, all the healing that I've done. I went from being like single and not really knowing like where to live and needing roommates to now owning a home and things like that. So it's like, it's almost like your higher self is just like encouraging you and trying to bring more evidence into your life and your existence to understand that you are this powerful being. You are this person that's able to achieve these things. And the way that you start to believe it is because you start seeing evidence. So a lot of times I'll tell people that when they want to manifest something, just do something small, because when you're manifesting, you want to think about something that you feel is and you believe deep down is actually achievable, because then once you achieve that, then you become stronger in your convictions of that manifestation, because you're like, I have proof, I have evidence that I was able to do this thing, and that makes you feel more powerful. So that's kind of like what I'm seeing for you, is that you're focusing on like smaller things, smaller tasks, smaller things that you're wanting to get done. And then you're starting to see, oh my God, I was able to do that thing. And now my belief system is that I am able to do that. Now let's try for something bigger because I feel stronger in this conviction. You think of something and see it. It's been happening a lot recently. So those are synchronicities. And whenever I think of synchronicities, I don't think angel numbers. I know a lot of people will say like, oh, synchronicities like angel numbers, or I saw feathers or pennies on the ground or something like that. I don't think that that's synchronicities. I do think that's signs of encouragement. But synchronicities for me are when two seemingly unrelated things happen at the same time. So, for example, the other day I was texting my sister and we were talking about my nephew and just sweet little like things that he was doing recently, and I was like, "Oh, that just reminds you that he's just still just a little guy." And as I'm typing that, she's responding back to me and she's like, "Yeah, he's still just a little guy." And we're having a moment, and on my TV show that I'm watching, I hear the guy on the show go, "So how's the little guy doing?" And I was like, "Whoa, that's weird." And it's stuff like that. Like when you sometimes you'll see it like an hour or two apart. And then sometimes you'll see it like a day apart, and sometimes you'll see it instantly. And I always feel like that's more so your alignment happening. like deja vu, like where the closer and closer that those synchronicities happen, like one right after the other, your new timeline is forming. So yeah, not angel numbers, more like confirmations. Exactly, 100%. So some things I'm seeing as far as your manifestations, especially with the Eight of Swords and the moon here, is I see you like unchained. I see you releasing the binds on your mentality. So not being a quote unquote slave or servant to your subconscious mind. You are now utilizing your subconscious mind and maybe helping to reprogram it. Because as we all know with manifestation, your outer experience, your outer reality is due to your subconscious beliefs. So you are working on releasing those subconscious beliefs and thought patterns and utilizing your subconscious mind to help bring those manifestations forward. I do have the Six of Cups and the Justice here, some type of manifestation that's going to come through with a past person where they're bringing you justice. They're bringing you clarity. They're coming through and making you feel like, redemption. Like I kind of finally feel like I'm hearing the things that I wanted to hear, the things that I wanted to see, the things that I wanted to know. I feel like I'm finally getting clarity on that. Let's see. What else do we have? We have manifestations when it comes to revelations. I also see transformation here. So this could be physical transformation if you're working on a healthier lifestyle, or if you're looking to actually make physical transformation within your body. So that could be working out and changing your physique. That could be getting cosmetic surgery. That could be changing your outer appearance, whether it be your hair color, your aesthetic, your wardrobe, your style, your makeup, things like that. But I'm definitely seeing like big changes. And this doesn't necessarily mean that it has to do with you specifically. It could be transforming things in your life that's like a part of your environment. But what I'm getting from this death card and rebirth card is that it's something you've been thinking about for a long time, that you've been wanting to do, and you finally feel like you're taking this action step to do this. I also think manifesting during a eclipse, especially a full moon, but especially an eclipse, is like a really big deal, and you have the center of the reading. So utilize with the moon here. So utilize this eclipse, this full moon, to create this incredible transformation, this incredible change. We're still under the effects of this eclipse, and we probably will be for the next couple of weeks. It is the most potent today, but focus on those manifestations as best as you can and utilize these like natural events to make that happen for yourself. But just know that you have like big changes up ahead, and I think that you're feeling hopefully more organized with your thoughts and more organized with your plans of how you actually want to go about doing these things. Because it is a full moon in Virgo, we tend to feel more like we want to organize and we want to get order within things that we're planning, and we want to be more structured with it. So, harness that energy as much as you can. I do see a little bit of like financial and emotional growth as well. Here, let's see. Not a lot, but maybe more stability, maybe more emotional and financial stability is what I'm getting. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much it, but the most specific pinpoints are releasing and strengthening your subconscious mind, someone coming back and providing clarity for you and giving you the justice that you feel you deserve to have, emotional and financial security, transformations within yourself or within your home, and like very concrete, organized action steps to continue to achieve these manifestations moving forward. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want to add on to your reading before I move to the next person. Kayla, if you're in the chat, I did add you to the donation list, but I don't see a donation yet. So let me know if you still plan on donating if you're in here. You're welcome, and have a great rest of your evening. Feel free to still stick around and hang out with us if you want. Okay, next up I have Nat for a mini reading. All right. So, hmm. All right, so I see you've got some suitors, actually, believe it or not. We do have the 5 of Cups. So this card going into this reading is kind of talking about how you're not super excited about your love life right now. Maybe even like disappointed in how things have gone down. Maybe you've put yourself out there, you've put your heart on the line with certain people and given them a lot of your time, energy, or effort and feeling like you didn't see it play out and you're just like disappointed about this. But I do see, if not one, maybe 2 suitors. And if this is the same person, then it's just showing an emotional depth. This is the card that I had, the King of Pentacles and King of Cups in the last reading, which I did shuffle, but it came through and it's talking about how this person or people will provide financial stability as well as emotional availability and stability for you as well. I see someone who wants to kind of wine and dine you. We have the Knight of Cups. If it is 2 people, I think that the person that's putting in more action is going to be the one that you go with. Even though they're good options for both, I think that you might feel that you're getting more, like effort from someone, and maybe they're more willing to take you out, spend time with you, take initiative, maybe be more romantic gesture kind of vibe. Whereas I think that you might find an emotional connection with the other person. So you'll really kind of have to figure out what you want to do here if it's 2 people. But hopefully it's 1 person and you've got it all wrapped up in a nice, neat little bow. I do see the 8 of Pentacles here. So this does talk about how potentially you meet this person through networking. If you're going to school, maybe through school. If you're working, maybe through work. 8 of Pentacles literally has to do with like you're working really hard at something because you're looking forward to the payoff. So whatever it is that you feel that you are really working towards on a day-to-day schedule, that's kind of how this person's going to come in for you. So some other things, it could be work, it could be classes, it could be a financial institute, just because we're working really hard to like maybe build up our savings or something like that, or our investments, maybe an accountant. And then the 8 of Pentacles can also talk about things like what else do you work really hard at that you're hoping for a fruitful end, which might be working on yourself, working on your physique. So it could be like a gym. Just essentially think of the things that you contribute to on a daily or mostly weekly basis. That might be how this person's going to come in for you. So, I mean, if you're on dating apps every single day, then that's probably how this person's going to come to you, because it's something that you're putting active effort into every single day. I do feel like this is a love connection. I have the 9 of Cups as well as wish fulfillment and a lot of happiness coming through. I do have the 2 of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups. For tarot and timing, I forgot to pull up my tarot and timing tab here. All right, so I'm going to go with summertime is what I'm going to say. I'll say it can happen as soon as 2 months, but we're looking at probably like around July. We're already in March anyways, halfway through, so not much longer. April, May, yeah, just the next couple of months. As soon as 2 months, but it could be, sometime over the summer. I know I have people in here that are like, I'm a hermit. I don't do anything. Like, I don't go out. It's so hard to meet people. And like, I definitely understand that. But not, you might be invited to something. You might be invited to a wedding or a conference or a birthday party or something, a baby shower. You never know. And I think that you could potentially meet someone out in this way as well. But like I said, I feel like it's more of that consistent effort. It's where you're applying more consistent effort is how this person's coming in for you. So think about what your goals are. Think about how you're working towards those and just continue to do that. I think that you're going to see this person kind of show up in a very unique way, in a very unexpected way, according to the tarot cards I'm pulling. Did you want to add on to your reading, or did I answer your question? You like unique. Good. All right, we're going to take Kayla off the donation list because I don't see her. You're welcome. All right, Amy is next. Sounds good, Nat. Oh, I just realized the music stopped. Sorry, guys. It was probably like really quiet in here. All right. He would tell you that you're incredibly attractive to him. He feels that you're a very intuitive person, where he kind of feels like you just kind of get him, or you guys just kind of click. I feel like he would be interested in learning more about your, I guess, goals or desires in life. Do you want a family? So I think he would be interested in like learning a bit more about you. So the Page of Swords is like someone who does a lot of research. So I feel like he would say, like, tell me more about yourself. Like, I'm curious, like, what it is you want out of life. What are you excited about? What are your passions? Like, I think he really just wants to learn about you. And I think that he would be interested in whatever it is that you had to tell him. I don't know if it's something that he would say out loud, but with the Two of Swords, he would be thinking to himself that he doesn't know if you're as into him as he is into you, because the Two of Swords talks about like feeling a bit blinded or feeling like you're not really sure like what the other person's thinking or what the other person is feeling. I do think he'd want to move this along, like move this ahead. So he probably would ask you out. He does have a fear of rejection that is very deeply embedded in him. That could be why he has like that jokester mentality, because of these insecurities. So he would likely, if you said you weren't interested, he probably would play it off as if like it was a joke. But I do think that when it comes to you, he wants to believe that anything can happen. So I think he'd be really excited to see you connecting with him in ways where he could have more of a like a direct conversation with you or a direct connection with you where he can learn more about you. I think also he would be the type of person that would kind of scroll your page a little bit, maybe do a bit of a deeper dive than what someone typically would do. The main thing is that he really likes your vibe. He feels like you have good aura, and he feels like you just give off like a very genuine, sincere, and warm and inviting and welcoming vibe about you. And I think that for him personally, he just wants to learn more about what this is all about. There is attraction for him to you. I think he just doesn't know if it's reciprocated. Hey, Kayla. Let me add you to the list, girl. I had you added before, but I wasn't sure if you were coming back. Did you donate on Cash App? Is that you? You said, but yeah, no clue if I should just follow him on TikTok or Insta. Well, I guess it depends on what you're looking for, because not everybody who's on TikTok has a page. A lot of times people have TikTok because they want to consume content rather than create content. So you could do both technically, but Insta might provide a more intimate experience with him where you guys can actually have conversations, which you can still do on TikTok, but TikTok's a little more casual. Whereas I feel Instagram, you can have like more of that one-on-one. So I think it just depends on what you're looking for with him to start. You could always start with TikTok if you want something more casual and go from there. And then maybe send him some TikToks you think are funny and he can reciprocate. But I do think that, in my personal humble opinion, following someone on TikTok only puts you in a friend zone very fast. TikTok was not around when I was dating, but I can kind of see how that could happen. Whereas Instagram is more of an intimate experience and you're able to take it offline a little bit more organically. So, like I said, it just depends on what you are looking for with this connection with him. Did you want to add on to your reading, or did I answer your question? He hasn't viewed your TikTok account, yeah. What I like too about Instagram is I think that people can see, if I'm not mistaken, people can see if you've read their message. I don't know if that happens on TikTok or not. I don't really message people on TikTok. You said I answered it, just debating whether you should follow him or not. You might go for Insta. Yeah. I think Insta, if you're looking for something to potentially develop. You're welcome. I'm happy to help. All right. So the next up, we have Smiley. After Smiley, we have Kayla. Have a great night, Amy. I hope you are feeling better today. I am trying to get through these readings a little quicker tonight. Try not to spend too much time like in between having conversations, just to kind of roll through this as quick as I can. If you donate a mini, just a reminder for you, everyone, it's 5 cards. I know I'm not on camera very often, so if I pull a couple extra cards, that's just a little perk. That's just to help me kind of get a little more information for you. And then in-depth readings, which are $13, or 10 cards. And then you can do a BOGO as well if you want, for up to 10 cards for those. And then we also have yes, no questions, no elaboration, which are $5. We have channeled messages, which are $35. We also have like some spreads, past, present, future, love spreads, things like that. So if you have any questions about anything, just let me know. Thank you. I'm feeling slowly better, and see you tomorrow. It's my little bro's birthday. That's right. I forgot about that. Just a friendly reminder for everyone. We found out last night Mercury goes into retrograde tomorrow. So let's just be very cautious with the decisions that we make. All right, Smiley. General. General for Smiley, please. Whatever comes out. All right, so Smiley, I see some big changes that you desire for your life. Like, I feel like you're feeling very uninspired right now. There can maybe be like 1 or 2 things that you're like, I do enjoy this a part of my life, but there's so many other things that I would like to change. So if you're constructing your ideal life, you don't feel like that current life compares to the desire. Is what it's coming up to me as. The 4 of Cups is just very uninspired, kind of maybe a little let down or disappointed by certain things, and just like honestly like not feeling very excited about the prospects or the things around you. But the thing about you, Smiley, is that you do have this free spirit. You have this march to the beat of your own drum. You have so many great qualities about you, and you think outside of the box more than the rest of them. Like, you have this way where you can kind of come up with concepts that people have never really heard about, and you're like, you feel that's what it is. You feel like ahead of your time. Thank you, Spirit. Like, you are ahead of your time. You have certain concepts, certain ideas, certain strategies, certain ways to do things. And then it's like everyone else has to catch up with you. So you might be the type of person that, like, 5 years ago, you were saying something about something, and then everyone else is like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's not going to work, or I don't understand. And then like 5 years later, now everybody's talking about that thing. So just very trendsetter. Just you're able to kind of see what could happen, what is possible. And I don't think that you really like to put yourself in a specific box. You don't like to tie yourself down. You do have desires that might be more traditional. Like, there are certain things that you might want that is typical for most people that they also want for themselves. For example, love. But generally speaking, though, you are unique and you're, original. And like you said, very open-minded. You're able to kind of like grasp things on a level that I think other people aren't quite ready for, and they're not quite ready to hear. And that is a very hard place to be, Smiley, because whenever you feel passionate about something or you feel like you have a good idea about something, you can't seem to get people to just get on board with it. You feel like you need to do it all yourself. And then later, once it becomes more accepted or more understood, and you're like, I've been saying this is what I wanted to do all those years ago. And it's being ahead of your time. It's just a hard place to be. You don't ever really feel validated. You don't feel like you're given the credit, because most people always doing it yourself, because most people, they have to be exposed to something a number of times before they accept it. And you're not that way. You're like, tell me once. Or even hell, if I think of something myself, that's all I need to be convinced about something. But other people have to see it over and over and over. So by the time that they've accepted it, they were told by you and by someone else and by someone else and by someone else and by someone else. And by the time that they've accepted it, they forget that you even said it in the first place. And then you don't feel validated. And you're like, remember when I said this? Or remember that's what I wanted to do? Or remember that was my dream? Or remember when I came up with this idea? And to not have people believe in you or believe in that, it can feel very isolating. And I feel like Spirit just wants you to know that you have all these opportunities, you have all these ideas, you have all these things that you want to do. And unfortunately, that is the place that you're in, is to not get the credit from most people. But you don't need the credit, because you know you're true to yourself, and you know that what your intentions were, and you know that you had a good idea or a good thought or a good intention in what it is you were trying to do. And that does put you in a place where it's like, if you want to like execute it, you do have to do it alone. And I will say, Smiley, like, I can relate to that a bit. I personally, I have so many ideas and so many things that I can think of that I want to do, that I talk about. So whenever I'm like, remember I said that thing, they're like, you say so many things. I can't remember every single thing you've ever said. And it sucks, because I'm like, but damn it, I did say it. I did. And yeah, so anyway, it's a whole nother thing. So if you're feeling that way, I just want you to know that it is a good thing. You have like a really keen sense of like what I don't know, like, I feel like people should be coming to you for strategy. Like, you'd be a really good consultant almost, because someone could come to you and say, I have this problem in my career, or I have this problem within my company. I'm not quite sure which way to go. And I feel like you're a really good strategist, that you could come up with some solutions that might work for them. Like, I feel almost like you should be getting paid for your ideas rather than actually doing the job. Do you get what I mean? Like, you should be getting paid for your creativity, for your, like, almost like a consultant would. Yes, exactly. You said, I have a lot of ideas and nobody understands me, and I give good advice. And that's the thing, is that what's hard for, I wonder, Smiley, if you know your human design, I wonder if you're a projector, because projectors feel like they need credit for everything. Like, they need to be able to be like, hey, you're brilliant. You thought of something genius. And I feel like if you were able to be a consultant, which I'm not saying that's what you have to do, but just as an example, if you were able to become a consultant, people would be hiring you for your ideas, and you would get that validation that you need and that credit that you deserve, because someone's saying, hey, I invite you to tell me what to do. Sometimes people don't want to hear it. Sometimes people don't want to hear or be told what to do. And that's when it sucks, because we're like, okay, we're not being taken seriously. You're like, I don't really care to get a parade for everything I do, but dang. Yeah, that's what I mean is like you should be able to get credit. You know, you should be able to get that credit you deserve for these ideas that you have. And it sucks because you don't feel understood. It's a very isolating place. Exactly. So, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that I don't want you to get down on yourself about being misunderstood or just not understood at period. I don't want you to get down on yourself for being ahead of your time when you can think of something now and be incredibly innovative, and then the rest of the world has to catch up 5 years later. And I don't want you to feel like you need to get the credit, even though you should be getting the credit and the praise for those things, because you know deep down, like you had that thought. That was your original advice. That was your original plan. That was your original strategy. And I think that you would do really well with being the idea person and the advice giver rather than having to execute the company itself. Getting the wait, you said that was accurate though. Do you see me putting some of these ideas into place? I think that you will have opportunities. Since that's not the question I asked, I don't exactly know, but I have the Page of Pentacles in the center, and that indicates that you will be given opportunities. So I would say yes. I would say yes to that question. I also feel like with the Queen of Swords, that's kind of like being more of like the leadership role, like the overseer, CEO kind of place, like the oversight. I really just believe if I get around the right people, like putting myself in the right room, I'll really take off from there. I agree. I believe in that too. Yeah, and I think that's true. I think sometimes we're just not in the right place at the right time with the right people. But if we can find the right place in the right time with the right people, then we can really get to where we're going. There was some kind of like water analogy. Okay, you can add on. Oh yeah. So there's like a water analogy where it says, you know, at the grocery store, a bottle of water is $1. And at a movie theater, a bottle of water is like $3. That same bottle of water. And on an airline or a hotel, I should say, that same bottle of water is $5. Okay. So the value goes up depending on where that product is being sold. So they're saying that you are that bottle of water. So if you are only being given the value of $1 rather than a hotel $5, you're not the wrong person. You're just in the wrong place. You got to get yourself to a place that's going to understand your value. Again, that's just an example, but it's talking about location. It's talking about perception. Someone at a grocery store is only going to want to pay $1 for that bottle of water. But at a hotel, you understand that things are more expensive and you pay that price. So I think for you, it's about surrounding yourself with the right people that can see your value in the place that they can see your value. What is your next question? Yeah, Kayla, retrograde starting tomorrow. Mercury retrograde. It goes from tomorrow until the 7th of April, I believe. Oh, technically today. Well, where I'm at, it technically started today. Venus retrograde is already in place. So we've got both love and Mercury. We've got both love and communication in retrograde. I understand that your teacher comes when you're ready. I've really been looking for someone to take me under their wing. It's like the mentor I had or tried to have didn't go right. So I guess, when will I find the right person or room to be in? Oh no, will you really find? Okay, will you really find? All right, let's see. Well, first let's ask, does she need to be in another state? She need to be in another state to find this person. Can she find this person even if she stays where she's at? Okay, so they're saying you'll get more hands-on experience by moving to a different state, but it's not necessary. You could still find someone to kind of mentor you and take you under their wing, if you will. But this would be more of like a virtual circumstance. You're going to find more of that hands-on experience and a lot more. They're saying it will happen faster if you move. If you go to a place where that kind of thing would be more prevalent. So, for example, if you want to be an actor, you might go to places like to New York or California, right? Or if you want to be a fashion designer, you might go to New York. If you want to be a farmer, you might go to Central States. If you want to be a homesteader, you might go like a little more inland from the East Coast or like south. So basically what I'm trying to say is that you'll get more of that hands-on experience depending on what it is that you want to do, moving to a state where that's more relevant and where you feel like that kind of industry is more prevalent. And it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen for you virtually or online or even potentially in person if you stay where you're at. The problem with it is I feel you moving faster, you're elevating quicker, you feel a lot more doors opening up by traveling. That's what I get. You really like California, you feel inspired. Your crush lives there and your cousin is there and you have a good time. You feel like you need to go to California once a month. Should she go to California? Yes, I feel like this is a great place for you to go, to be, to network. I feel like it's a masculine energy. I feel almost like this is you, Queen of Wands. And I feel like you get like a masculine energy to kind of lead you. The Emperor is like a leadership role. Those are your main ones. Yeah, I do feel like you're going to find what you're looking for. I just double checked and confirmed it. And I am getting a yes. And I have wish fulfillment here. So I do think this is going to happen for you. I feel like you're feeling like a tug or a pull to California for a reason. If you ever want to look into astrocartography as well, at some point down the line, I offer those right now for $15. We can look at your it's basically like your birth chart spread across a map of the world. And it kind of tells you what type of experiences you might have in any given location. So I can always check that too if you ever wanted me to another time. I offer those a lot when I'm doing offline readings over on Instagram, but you can always email me separately if you're interested. But that might give you a little more insight about why maybe you're drawn to California as well. So before you take like the plunge, before you make that move, it might behoove you to get one of those readings just to kind of see what kind of energy there is in that area for you, if there is any energy at all. But I think where you're located right now, it feels almost like you feel stuck. It feels like every single time you think I'm getting traction, I'm getting movement, something is happening, you feel blocked. And it's very possible that due to your astrocartography chart, where you're currently located, there might be like a line there that's affecting you and making you feel that way. So it's always good to look into that. Yeah, so just email me, Smiley, whenever you're like, yeah, I want to do this. It's one question per $15. So if you want me to look at California, I can. That's $15. If you want me to look at where you're currently located and California, that would be $30. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, we can definitely look into that at some point. But I think you would do better getting out from where you are to pursue these kinds of things. And I think that your intuition is telling you that as well. It's just taking the plunge can be kind of hard because that's like a big decision. So maybe you are being really smart by saying that you're just going to maybe visit until you can officially make that decision. I know when I was with my crush, he said, so you chose MS over Galley. I said, no, I wouldn't say that, but yes, that makes sense. So I don't know, was it just me liking my crush or me needing to be there for me? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that's where the astrocartography would come into play to like really help us understand what kind of energies you would experience in that location. It could be both though, Smiley. Like two things can be true at once. I can do it for you as soon as tonight if you wanted me to. I just don't do them on live. So if you wanted to do that, you can send over the money now, and when I get off of here this evening, I can draw it up for you. Yeah, I can do it as soon as tonight. Or yeah, tomorrow I'm probably going to work, so I could also do it tomorrow or sometime next week. It's really up to you. Yeah, I can do it tonight. I'll do it when I sign off here. So what I need you to do, Smiley, I just got the donation. All I need you to do is email me the location or the general area. Like give me a city in California that you want me to look at. And I can draw it up where I can give you a screenshot of the line, and I can tell you what kind of energies you'll experience in this area. Yeah, definitely, definitely. So just be on the lookout for that after I sign off here, and I will get that sent over to you before I go to bed, okay? Okay. So next up I have Kayla. Kayla, are you here? Oh, Smiley, I'm so sorry. I also, more than the location, I also need your birth chart information. So if you can send me your date of birth. Hold on. Let me type it in the chat. I need location of potential move. I need date of birth, I need time of birth, and I need location of birth. So Smiley, if you can just email me those things, that would be great. All right, Kayla, so I have you down for an in-depth reading and a mini reading. So for this first question, are we pulling cards for the mini or are we pulling cards for the in-depth? Oh, 2 minis and messages. Okay. 2 minis and messages. You got it. Perfect. Let me just verify that real quick. Got it. Okay, Smiley, I got it. So I'll get that summary sent over to you before I go to bed tonight, okay? All right, Kayla. Sorry about that confusion. I was just trying to put the math together. So I'm glad that we got that cleared up. So let's pull for your first mini. How did Maurice feel about seeing you? How did Maurice feel about seeing Michaela? How did Maurice feel about seeing Michaela? Sounds good. Kayla, let me tap into this energy. It's a little different. I think what's got me like really where I want to start is the Hanged Man in reverse. And I feel like, okay, so especially if this has come after a time where you guys didn't see each other, this is more the feeling of like a period of waiting or stagnation is over. So feeling like finally we saw each other, or finally we've seen each other. And the Hangman is like a pause. So kind of feeling like we've pressed play, so to speak. The end of the pause, or the end of the stagnation, has happened, and maybe feeling a little bit like he wants to take action or make changes in your romantic life rather than passively waiting. We also have the Hangman reverse offers like a new perspective, or may suggest that Maurice has a new perspective when it comes to you, that will allow for maybe more doors to open, so to speak. But I think you kind of revved up, or like charged up, maybe some unresolved feelings within him, I would say. He probably tried to play it really cool. We have the Three of Pentacles, so acting as if you can't, like, not wanting to really see you, that wanting you to see that he's like hot under the collar. So I think that maybe he broke a sweat, got flushed, that kind of thing. You said randomly ran into him. I completely ignored him and was speaking to his friend. Oh, geez. Yeah, that could be why he was feeling a bit flustered. I think maybe he was like looking forward to seeing you again, or hoping that he would see you again. He definitely did see you, for sure, obviously. But I feel like this just made him feel a bit like, I don't know what to do. I definitely feel like a rising in temperature, like body temperature. But like I said, he's trying to remain like calm, cool, and collected. Like, I'm fine. It's all good. But I feel like this made him want to see you again. I feel like he doesn't like the way this whole transaction happened. I think he wants to rewrite that story. And I think, honestly, he's probably reeling about it a little bit more than he would like to let on. So he might be overthinking or even spiraling at this point, because of how that interaction went. I think that might have made him feel very like awkward or uncomfortable. It's kind of like one of those things where you think it, overthink it, replay it over and over, and you think about all the things you wish you would have done differently. And I think he's kind of stewing in that, and wanting an opportunity again to kind of maybe change how you are perceiving him. So something tells me he's not used to you ignoring him, and this was very new for him, and he didn't know what to do with that either. So I think that the whole thing was just very uncomfortable for him, very awkward for him. And I think that he's like happy that he saw you, in the sense that he was hoping to run into you at some point. But once things happened, the what's the word I'm looking for? Interaction. Once the interaction happened and everything was said and done and you guys went your separate ways, that's what he's kind of reeling about, because it's kind of like when you think about what you want to happen and it goes differently than how you played it out in your mind. And then that leaves you feeling disappointed, or it leaves you feeling like you're longing for something different to happen. And I think, honestly, he might have thought you looked really good too. Like, he might have thought you looked really, really good. And this could have like maybe resurfaced some of these feelings that he had underneath it all. Yeah, I said I feel like he was thinking you were looking good. And look at that, as I'm shuffling, the Empress. This is the card that's like the highest compliment a man can give a woman in the tarot. This is like ethereal goddess, queen, divine beauty, most beautiful woman in the world kind of energy. All right, how does Maurice currently feel about Michaela? How does Maurice currently feel about Michaela? Girl, you have him overthinking like crazy. He's just thinking about that interaction. So this strength is like the glow up, okay? Like he feels like you have just elevated it beyond belief. This is the card of reconciliation. So he's like, she's different. Something's different about her. She's looking good, but also her energy is different. And so that reconciliation just has him absolutely reeling. He's trying to figure out, how does he get back in your good graces? He's saying, okay, this was a challenge for me. This will be a challenge for me, but how do I get her to see me how she used to see me? The Three of Swords talks about how he's eating crow right now. The biggest regret that you could possibly feel. He wants to see if things will get easier between the two of you. You were extremely attractive to him. And I think that he's playing a lot on your looks right now. Like there's a lot of emphasis on how you looked physically, but don't let that like overshadow the fact that he did also feel that you were different energy. You had this different aura about you. You had, you were basically, well, you didn't give to me, so I'm not giving back. The Six of Pentacles is very much like, I'm going to match the energy here. And, like you said, you were that girl. You were looking like that girl. And I feel like for him, he's feeling that shift in you. And he's seeing maybe for the first time in real time, like you snooze, you lose. Like if you didn't put in the effort, sorry, moving on. So this might challenge him too a little bit because like I said, he's trying to figure out how to get back in your good graces. It does make me wonder because these are his feelings, of course, not necessarily his actions, but it makes me wonder what he's going to do or how he's going to go about trying to get back with you, trying to get you back on his radar. The Ace of Cups here, or get himself back on your radar, I should say. Ace of Cups here, you definitely stirred some emotions within him. And I think that he's feeling almost like a heartbreak in a sense. I even wonder if the friend was paying a lot of attention to you as well. Was the friend a guy? It makes me curious. But anyways, maybe the guy was maybe the friend was complimenting you after you walked away, or if it was like a girlfriend, then she was complimenting you like after you left or something. Like, doesn't she look good now? Or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, you can add on, of course. That's funny. Did you want to do your add-on first before the messages? Okay. All right, what's your question for the add-on? All right, let's take a look here. So these three cards came out together, so we're just gonna do that. I don't think that they're in contact right now. We have the card of reconciliation here and the 10 of cups, which is kind of like the connection. But I don't know if you noticed that that's how the reading starts, but it's not how it ends. So it makes me think that there was some kind of falling out that happened. Maybe they were like an on again, off again situation, possibly, or maybe they were on and off again communication. But there was definitely some kind of falling out that happened because this is the card of isolation. So when it comes to advances in romance or crush or attraction or physical intimacy or communication and any of that, they're in solitude. It seems like they're not in communication right now. And that there is some disappointment over this as well. But someone's coming through in this connection very guarded. So is that her or him? That's him. He's very guarded when it comes to her. I feel like he almost feels like this is more hassle than what it's worth. How is she feeling about him? How is she feeling about him? I think that she is more into him than he is into her in terms of like relationship. My ear's ringing now. I feel like that was confirmation. I think she wanted something more substantial with him. I saw the Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles. So I think what happened was she wanted something more substantial with him. He wasn't willing to offer that. And so he kind of pulled away. And I think there was some kind of falling out because they weren't seeing eye to eye. They didn't have any direction in this relationship. I think at this point, there's no communication, maybe potential to start things back up again at some point. But I think that he knows that in order for this to actually happen, he would have to give more to her than what he's willing to. So I think that you said he moved in with her. So that's the thing, is that she wanted something more with him. So I had the Emperor, and I just cut the deck and I got the Emperor again, which is funny. I had the Emperor and I had the Queen of Pentacles. So like I said, I think that she thought there was going to be more to their story than what actually ended up happening. I think he unfortunately might have been using her, and she wanted more from him that he did not want to give. And he said, nah. So he's definitely pulled back his energy. If he's still living with her, I don't think it's on good terms. But personally, I think that they're isolated. Like, if he's still living there, they might be in separate rooms. If they're still in the same room, things aren't good. I just don't think there's a lot of communication that's happening here. I think he's incredibly guarded with her. I think that he unfortunately may have used her or made her believe that something more was going to happen than actually was going to happen. Oh, is that what you think? It's possible. All right, let me get you some message cards. That very, very well might be the case too about her thinking that he has more money than he did, because he's coming through as like the King of Pentacles. So it's like he definitely gives off an air about him that he has things more put together than he actually does. But in my opinion, she should have thought of it as a red flag that him wanting to move in with her, clearly he didn't have it as together as he was acting like he was. Because if he did, he would just move in, you know, to a hotel for a little while or find another place to live or whatever. And I think that should have been kind of a red flag to her. But I think that he might have been like playing with her emotions and being like, I could get my own place, but I really want to hang with you. I really want to be with you. She should have known better. I think her gut told her something different and she just didn't listen. Oh, I see. So the messages that you want are from him, right? You know what's cracking me up, Kayla? The very first card out. I am not financially stable. The very first card out. I'm so attracted to you. Messages from him to her, please. Messages from him to her. I don't react when people I don't react when people mention you. That's kind of playing on that message that I had said where he was trying to play it cool when he saw you. Like the friend might have been like, man, she was looking really good. Didn't you think she was looking good? He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. But you know, he was thinking it in his head. It's that he tries really hard, like not to let things look like they're bothering him. So he says, I am afraid to contact you. I don't know what comes next. Let's see. I'm just going to pull a couple more cards for you. Yeah, you can add on. Definitely. You can absolutely add on. I daydream about a life with you. I love you unconditionally. I don't know what you want. I wonder how you feel. I feel like you're leaving me behind. So that is what I've got, girl. Let's put them on the screen real quick in case you want to take a screenshot or something. You can always come back to this. But in case you want to save these messages, you can. I got it. It looks like it came through. All right, you're welcome. My husband might call me in a second. He always calls me on his way home. So if I have to step aside for a second, I'm just going to let him know that I'll call him back. Thanks, girl. You're getting interesting cards here for this question. Oh, you'll get a man. Hey, honey. Hey, I think I'm working on my last reading of the night. I'm not sure if anybody else donates. I'll take them, but I'll have to call you back. Okay, all right, bye. All right, how does Arisha feel about Michaela? I'm interested as to why Arisha has 10 of Pentacles for you and the Lovers. I think I understand, though. Oh, thanks, Smiley. It is nice. It's very nice. One thing I can say is that I got out of my own way when it came to finding a person. This was 10 years ago. So online dating wasn't like a huge thing, and it was kind of taboo still. And my sister was like, you should do online dating. This was before apps, that you could do apps online. This was like you logged into a website. And I was like, all right, well, you know, like if you want to, sure. Or if you want to like sign me up. So she signed me up. She suggested it. As soon as I got on the website, she was like, can I scroll? Can I like look and see if there's anyone for you? And I was like, sure. My sister actually found him for me. She was like, what about this guy? And then she starts telling me about him. I was like, sure, just message him. And so that's the end of the story. Like, she messaged him and he messaged me back, and that's all she wrote. But he didn't live in my area. He was an hour away. I just basically went into it completely open-minded. Like, I was doing something completely like un-me to do. And I was just like, you know what? Sure. Like, I'm open to anything. I'm open to trying something new, because clearly what I've been doing hasn't been working. So like, the only suggestion that I can offer when it comes to finding your person is just like, let go of all expectations in terms of like, don't settle. That's not what I'm saying, but just be open to any way that the person can come to you and come into your life. Because as soon as I did that, I found him like immediately. And I think that that's like the best advice that I can give, because he wasn't in my area. I mean, he definitely was my type in a sense. He's a little different than my type, but he still had enough of what I found attractive that worked for me. But just be very open-minded is really all I can say, because I think sometimes we can block off what could be potentially really good for us if we aren't open-minded. You said interesting cards. Yeah, I'm going to explain this. I was married when I was younger, but I wasn't prepared. Even after a divorce, was still together. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah, I totally get that. So Kayla, this is interesting about how she feels for you, because I'm kind of getting that she feels she's in competition with you. She's competing for his heart or his attention or his energy. She views herself to you as inferior. You are superior to her in her eyes when it comes to how he feels for you. Shoo! Oh my gosh. Whenever I sneeze, you might hear from your person, by the way. So Kayla, I feel like she just feels like she's the other woman. She's never going to measure up. She's never going to like be able to do the things and be the things all in which you are. She feels like thank you. She feels like you're his family, you're his lover, you're his wife. And she feels inferior to that. She also feels like you are where he puts his thought energy into. You know, like she feels like she can't get out of him what he feels for you. Like she feels like he's pining for you a lot of the time, that you might have been the one that got away, that she's never going to be able to measure up. And she's bending over backwards to try to get his attention, to like try to be that standout person that you naturally are to him. And I think that that's very hard for her to see all this energy that she's putting into him, and he's putting it into his thought energy for you. So it's like almost like a love triangle, if that makes sense, but one where she's into him, but he's into you. Do you get what I mean? So she feels like there's this hierarchy. As I mentioned in the last reading, it does feel like he was maybe using her, and I'm so sorry to say that, but it's what it feels like. It feels like he was playing on her emotions, and it was out of maybe like desperation for him, because he was looking for maybe some ego boosting, a place to stay, things like that. And I think when she realized that she wasn't getting out of him what she wanted, she started maybe like confronting him about it. And I think that that's when he started kind of backing away. So he cheated on you with this girl, you put him out, and he moved in with her. So yeah, she's looking at you as competition is like the main thing. You just like to see the karma. You're a Scorpio, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think they're both getting their karma in their own individual ways. If you were to ask me, like, he's getting his karma because he's eating crow. Like he made his bed and now he has to lie in it, and now he sees you not giving any care for him at all. And then she is, because she's pining over someone that she shouldn't have been, because he was obviously involved with you. And so now her karma is the fact that her feelings aren't being reciprocated by him, because she was, in a sense, being a homewrecker. So it's happening. The karma is happening. So that's what I've got for you. You're welcome. It was really fun doing readings for you guys tonight. Thank you so much. Smiley, give me a few. It does take me some time to get your summary typed up, so just bear with me. But like I said, I'll get that sent over to you before I go to bed. My hope is that I can get it to you within the next hour. So just sit tight on that. And everyone else, thank you for a great live stream. I will be back tomorrow evening, so just be on the lookout for that live stream. I'll offer more free reads at the beginning per usual. Hope everyone else has a wonderful rest of their evening.